Scientology executives have been going missing one by one. Barbara hasn't been seen publicly in the last 12 years. She also happens to be good friends with Shelly Miscavige and went missing right around the same time Shelly did. Hey guys, and welcome to Mangotology, and thank you for joining me. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Steven Mango, and I'm an ex-Scientologist that works here on YouTube to expose Scientology. So if you want to stay up to date on all the videos I post, please make sure to go down below, click on that subscribe button, as well as the bell icon right next to it, so you stay notified whenever I release a new video. Today on my channel, we're going to be talking about how another Scientology executive has gone missing. Her name is Barbara Ruiz, and she hasn't been seen publicly since 2007. We're going to be telling you everything we know about her disappearance, what went down, and her ties to Shelly Miscavige. Shelly obviously is the missing person who happens to be the wife of Scientology leader David Miscavige. Now, it is very hard to come on camera and talk about how these executives are going missing one by one, and there's seemingly not much that I can do about it, but bring awareness and come on here and share the story, and hope that you guys continue the conversation, share this video, share the story, and see if there's anything and any tips or anything that we can find out about Barbara. Now, this information comes from Tony Ortega's blog. I'm also going to be linking his articles down below. He's posted 2 articles over the years about the disappearance of Barbara. One happened to be very recently in the last week or two at the behest of Leah Remini, who has been also asking, where is Barbara? Now, we all know that Shelly Miscavige has gone missing. There's been major publications that have picked up on it, such as Vanity Fair, 2020 on the news, on Scientology in the Aftermath, on blogs, websites, my channel even. We all have been asking the question, where is Shelly Miscavige? But unfortunately, and it's sad to say, Shelly isn't the only executive or person that has been in a position of power within Scientology that has gone missing. There are several. It's not just Shelly, and you may be shocked to hear that, but it's not just Shelly. Heber Jens, who is the president of the Church of Scientology, went missing for a number of years. Karen de la Courier, who you guys are familiar with probably here on YouTube, or from her story of her son who passed away, Alexander. Heber was actually imprisoned in the Hole, which is the prison for Scientology executives. There's some 80 to 100 executives that have been imprisoned in the Hole, and the Hole is located in Scientology's international base out in the desert in Hemet, California, which is kind of around the area of Palm Springs, if you're not really familiar with, Southern California. He was out there, wasn't seen for a number of years. There was websites, blogs, other people saying, where's Heber? Free Heber. Sadly, when Karen's son passed away, Heber was actually pulled out of the Hole, and he attended the memorial service that Karen was not able to attend. I believe it was at Celebrity Center here in Hollywood, and then he went right back into the Hole. The conversation for where is Heber obviously stirred up enough noise to where Heber was eventually produced. Now, like I've been saying for many videos, like a broken record, if nothing bad happened to Shelly, then produce her. Bring out Shelly, bring her to an event, put her on video, put her on the radio, like do something and show she's okay. Even if you don't put her out to like mainstream media and the press, even if it's just in the international base, put her in the a dress, just like they did a Marty, and put him in a nice suit, put him behind a green screen and go, and action. Have Shelly read a script that Corinne Poo, who was Scientology's public relations person, could write. She could read it off a teleprompter into the camera, have someone do her hair, do her up. I mean, if I was Scientology's PR person, that's what I would do. Interestingly enough, a little off topic, but Scientology actually wanted me to do some of their public relations and join the Sea Org, work in their president's office, which I've talked about. I'll even do a video maybe about the president's office. It's a department within Celebrity Center in Scientology that the celebrities go through, and they also have a wing of public relations, all of that. And as you guys can see, I have a public relations background. I probably would have been able to help Scientology at the time when I was brainwashed by them. Obviously, I would, looking back, like I'm glad I didn't do anything like that. I would not be wanting to cover up missing persons. But anyways, from a public relations standpoint, they should bring out Shelly, take pictures of Heber. I believe what happened with Heber was they did videos with him. Didn't he do some type of video, I believe? They put him on camera to do anti-Leah Remini videos, perhaps. I'm not sure. I think he did. And then basically what happened was, like, Heber had some issue. I forget what it was. It was like walking, or there was something going on with Heber where he was like physically not okay, but they put him on camera to make some sort of one of these propaganda videos. But due to Shelly, you're going to discredit all your critics, Scientology, if you did that. You would discredit me, you would discredit Leah, everyone. So consider doing it, and then I would rather be discredited and know that Shelly's okay, and, you know, be proven wrong that she's not missing, being proved wrong she's not physically injured or anything. I would rather be proven wrong than continue making videos about it. I would much rather Shelly be okay and come on camera. Obviously, you know, I'm doing this because I care about these people, because I know what it's like to be in Scientology and not have a voice. So let's go into a little bit with who this Barbara Ruiz person actually is. Now, Barbara was someone who would put on the annual Writers of the Future contests for Scientology. Here is a photo of Barbara sitting on the very far left at a Scientology event. Writers of the Future, also part of Author Services, Inc., and it's also what Barbara was the executive director of. She was the executive director of the organization that basically managed the literary works and like the music works and everything of L. Ron Hubbard, kind of protecting his fictional work, which some may say all of his work is fictional, but anyways, he used to be an author. L. Ron Hubbard did science fiction, and people want to like really play up L. Ron Hubbard's science fiction. He didn't just write science fiction. You know, we have to be very honest as critics for when we're dissecting Scientology. A lot of people want to paint things in black and white or try to paint things into the picture that they want or the image in order to fit their critic activism thing, to try to paint Scientology as all evil or all this or all that. He wasn't just a science fiction writer, guys. He wrote books about all sorts of things, Western. I mean, there was all sorts of things. I didn't really read a lot of his fictional works, honestly, but I did read hundreds of Scientology books and listen to hundreds of Scientology lectures, but some may say that is the fiction, but he wasn't just a fictional science fiction author. But Barbara would put on these Writer of the Future events. Now, in 2004, there was an event, I believe it was at the Beverly Hilton, and that's where Barbara put on her last event where she was seen doing this sort of executive work for Scientology. Now, at this event for Writers of the Future in 2004, David Miscavige attended with Shelly Miscavige. Now, this is important because Shelly was also friends with Barbara Ruiz, and Barbara was also friends with David Miscavige. So again, keep all those different things in mind. So they had the annual Writers of the Future event. They also, here in Hollywood, they have different, I never been to one honestly, but they would have these like plays where they would read L. Ron Hubbard's works, and you know, someone would be wearing a cowboy hat, be like, oh hey cowboy, and like the different Scientologists would like act out his scripts and his work and all that sort of stuff. And they would also have other people, like say me, if I was a script writer, I could send in my script to these Writers of the Future sort of contests and different things. I don't really know a lot about that side of Scientology, guys, honestly, about the Writers of the Future, Author Services. Like, I don't really know about a lot of that sort of stuff because I wasn't directly involved with that organization, but from my understanding, that's what basically was going on with the Author Services and the different works and the Writers of the Future stuff. So she had this event, all went well, so I'm assuming, and Barbara was starting to do dirty deeds to the direction of David Miscavige. So again, guys, this is in 2004. Shelly Miscavige went missing in 2005. Now, around the years of 2004 to 2005-ish, Barbara was actually in charge of basically running the whole and doing mass confessions, according to Marty Rathbun. Now, this has also been confirmed by other sources besides Marty. Mike Rinder, there was other people that were in the hole around those different years. Valerie Hany, I believe, who was at Gold Base, who was an escapee, who was on the Remini show, has some different knowledge of like the whole, and possibly she left in 2016, but there was some like different knowledge and stuff about that. But she was actually probably not the angel that we're trying to maybe rescue here. But again, remember, Mike Rinder was in charge and doing things with OSA, Scientology's Fair Game. So you know how many people Mike Rinder at the time probably sent private investigators on people, ran noisy investigations, attacked, slimed, did so many horrible things. Yes, he later come to confess to things, but remember, just like Marty Rathbun, guys, and this is no hate towards Mike Rinder or anything like that, I'm just saying this as just being like an outside objective opinion. You guys have to remember that some of these people that were former executives, it's hard to say because I don't want to upset anyone who like loves Mike Rinder, because I know he's a huge activist, and again, I'm just making an assumption a little bit here, but you have to remember that there's things that have been criminal activities that he probably can't or still does not discuss or own up to or talk about. And I'm happy that he's doing the work with Leah, and he's really making up for all the crimes and horrible things he did for Scientology. I know that when you're brainwashed, you do a lot of different things you would never do in the real world, so don't come for me for that. But just know that things with possibly Lisa McPherson, the destruction of files. I know Marty Rathbun, confessed to a lot of different burning up files of different things that were incriminating that could have harmed Scientology in their tax exemption. So just remember that a lot of those guys weren't really innocent. So same thing with Barbara. Barbara is probably not a innocent person here, but she was doing things probably because she's under mind control and she's being harmed by this Scientology organization. I know when I was in Scientology, just in defense of all of these people, I would have done horrible things if Scientology told me to, if I thought this was protecting the group that was going to help save us and help us bring Scientology into the future and to solidify this as a worldwide religious organization. So just, again, guys, remember that. So yeah, she's not probably really innocent because she was helping to do these horrible things on David Miscavige. So she was, or for David Miscavige. So she was reporting every single day, she was reporting these different confessions of these Scientology executives to Miscavige. Now remember, guys, you have to confess your sins in Scientology almost like when you're Catholic, but on the e-meter. And a lot of the times it's in interrogatory style. You're on the e-meter and they're asking you questions, and this is what you're paying for when you're just like a public. And there was times when they were, I believe Scientology thought that maybe I was like a spy, or I wasn't really dedicated to the group, or I didn't show up for a while, and they'd ask me questions like, I don't want to say anything that'll get me demonetized, but a lot of sexually charged questions. They ask questions about past lives. They ask you questions about if you ever enslaved a population, and they try to dig up anything that you'll confess. And again, that's recorded in pre-clear folders, which are the folders that Scientology records all your auditing and all your other session data in. And later on, they can use all of that to discredit you, attack you, slander you. They put up hate websites with your information that you've confessed to, and that's what really controls people and keeps them in the organization. Now, we know that this was actually the case because Mike Rinder was actually imprisoned in the hole around the same time that Barbara was doing these confessions. There was another Scientology executive, according to the blogs, who said that he saw Ruiz leaving the offices and talking with Miscavige outside, reporting what she had learned. Again, this is from Tony Ortega's blog. Again, I'll link it down below so you guys can check it out if you're interested in seeing the source of this information. Angie and Barbara were in there egging people on. Barbara was one of the matrons. She and Angie Blankenship were getting called out of the hole and were debriefing Miscavige in front of the trailers. Remember, the hole was these double wide trailers. Rathbun says they were giving him detailed descriptions of the confessions. So it's said that Barbara actually went missing around the years of 2007. It could have been maybe a little bit before then or maybe a little bit after, but she wasn't actually seen or heard of since 2007. She could have been shipped off to a different country. We're going to be talking about where she may possibly be. We're getting there, but we're going to read to you some of the statements from Leah Remini about this matter. And before we read them, she actually was saying, and I agree with her on this, that there are some Scientology executives who are out there who have left, such as Tommy Davis, who was in charge of public relations, who was, or he is, Ann Archer's son, who's the actress, and he was doing so much media relations for Scientology. You guys have seen a lot of Tommy Davis clips yelling at Sweeney from the BBC. Tommy Davis is very infamous as having done probably a horrible job doing public relations work for Scientology. So I'm going to read to you guys a quote or a paragraph or two from Tony's blog that I just found interesting. In 2006, after her fateful experience at Tom Cruise's wedding in Italy, Leah was not only asking about what had happened to Shelly Miscavige, she was also asking about Barbara Ruiz, a woman who was such a trusted executive. She ran the annual L. Ron Hubbard's Writer of the Future Awards Gala for Scientology. Barbara was in David Miscavige's circle. She was in Tom Cruise's circle, and she was close to Shelly, Leah tells us. Also, there was Javier Ruiz, who was obviously the husband, now ex-husband, of Barbara. He was a longtime Sea Org member who had been the president of Author Services, who she was the executive director of. He was married to Barb. Leah called and expressed concern to Javier once it was seen that Barbara just happened to have gone missing. He said basically he was divorced from her, he didn't care. Later on said that even he himself was sent off to another country when he fell out of favor eventually with Scientology. He's now, or was, I believe, a Scientologist, but just not in, he's not on staff or he's not in the Sea Org, but still has belief in Scientology. So again, at the time when Leah spoke to him, he was involved in Scientology, but it's like, hey, like, she's not my wife, she's my ex-wife, like, why do I care where she is? So just interesting. He wrote a knowledge report, an internal report on me, saying I was trying to start a mutiny because I wanted to know where Shelly and Barbara were. They confronted me with the KR, knowledge report, and wanted to know if I was trying to start a mutiny. That is where the beginning of the end started for me. Now, I just find it very interesting that all these executives that were very close to David Miscavige around the years of 2004 to 2007-ish just happened to go missing, or people that were very close to him in some form or fashion. And you guys have to remember that was 12 years ago, and these people have still not shown up. There's other executives, I can make videos about them and their whereabouts if you guys have interest in really knowing more detail, or about any of these people. If you want me to like really go into their history and you really want to learn about these different executives, I'd be happy to share with you that information, or see if there's any other ex-Scientologists. You guys who are watching this who are ex-Scientologists, if you have any information you want to come on my channel to share about any of these people that we're talking about, or who may be public interest, please write to me and I'll be happy to have you on my channel. Especially if you live in LA, this offer goes out to anyone who's obviously a credible ex-Scientologist that we can interview and talk here on this channel, so we can try to get more information on the whereabouts of these different people. I just think it's very interesting that Barbara was very close to the point where she was helping to run Scientology's prison, giving these confessions to Miscavige, and then later on she turns up in the hole herself. Like, how does that actually happen, where you're so trusted by this person and then you fall out of favor and he imprisons you or just makes you go missing? Same thing with Shelly. It's his wife, guys. This isn't someone who's just, if they broke up and then she went missing, that's one thing, but this is supposed to be his current spouse. Where is Shelly and what is going on? And with Barbara, she was very close to Shelly. Now, people were speculating and wondering, would Barbara be with Shelly? Now, it's not said that Barbara and Shelly are together, possibly because they both had an alliance, they both were close friends, and just based off of the information they may both have, they're being separated. Now, we know that Scientology is notorious for shipping people off to different countries. We're more familiar with this theory of Scientology getting people into the United States from foreign countries and making them work as Sea Org member slaves. And I know of this actually firsthand from a Sea Org member named Tamara at Celebrity Center, and from some other people. Probably shouldn't say people's names, honestly, but again, you know, if we keep things quiet, then no changes are going to be made. Anyways, I'll do a whole video about that. I'm going to make a note about that, actually, about how they ship people into the country, they take away their passports, and then they're working at Scientology, and you know, they know that they're going to get either shipped back to their home country, or there's some issues or visas. They much rather be a slave and be in the United States than be in their home country. And once they're kept here against their will, it's just so complicated, guys, and I'll go into that. But they also ship people to other orgs in different countries. If things are starting to heat up in the press or the media or whatever, they'll ship them off to Africa, or they'll ship them off to some other org and keep them held there away from the public eye. And it happens more so than you think. It's not necessarily that sometimes some of those people are necessarily missing persons, because they may have just been an ordinary staff member, whatever, or they might have told other people where they're going. It's different when these people are going missing and no one hears or knows like where they are or anything. It's just that some of these executives, like Tommy Davis, like I was trying to say, they may know where Barbara is. They left Scientology. They may know where Shelly is, or they may have other information as former executives, but they don't give up that information. They're too scared of Scientology. They don't want to go up against them. They don't want to deal with Scientology's legal team, private investigators. And I don't blame them, guys, honestly. I actually, speaking about this, yesterday I started a brand new channel. It's just Steven Mango. I'm gonna link it down below if you guys have any interest. Jeff and I just did like a cooking show of Jeff like cooking vegan food for me and stuff like that. It's actually a really funny, cool video. I just bring that up just because it's hard to say, come on my channel, for example, and talk day in and day out about just horrible things that I can't do anything about. I can bring awareness to the public, which I love to do, and being an activist and a whistleblower, but I can't take down Scientology alone. You guys can, you know, help support and back me up by sharing videos or spreading awareness. If anyone from the media watches this, I have a media email down below if you guys want me to make statements to the press or come on a television show like CNN, or I don't, not CNN specifically, but whatever it is. However I can use my voice to help. But on the other hand, like if I sit here and talk about things about, you know, some of the abuses that I personally sustained, it's just like every single day it's enough. So I understand why some people just like completely move on. And I hope you guys also support my other channel as well. I mean, I have my Mango Tea for beauty drama, but Steven Mango is just gonna be like my personal life, where I can also make videos on other topics besides just Scientology, because I'm more than that. And you know, if I want to move on in the future, I can't always just be talking about Scientology forever. And I'm going to do my best to make videos here. I enjoy speaking up, but on the other hand, sometimes it's so triggering. I get anxiety, like I'm sitting down, like sometimes like reliving some of the things. And I come on camera and I smile when I'm telling like my personal story, mind you, because there's a lot of trauma and stress and things I haven't figured out. And I made a video about going to therapy and like working on some of my different problems and stuff like that. And I'm hoping that in the future I can start making videos about other topics and stuff too, and kind of slowly move on from it being something where I'm constantly reminded of these horrible things. And it's just horrible that there's nothing that we can do, nothing I can do, not much that many people can do, but just like using our voice to share and letting people know that it's a cult and Scientology is dangerous and don't get involved. These are the reasons why I tell people, don't go in for one course, don't read their websites, their books, whatever, because it's more pain than help you're going to get. You may get a little bit of help like this, but could you imagine, guys, over the last 6-7 years, or I've had in Scientology, I don't want to say involvement, but like say that word, since 2009. So 10 years I've had either been in Scientology or left Scientology. 10 years, guys. And I know a lot of different stuff about Scientology, whatever, but it harmed my life, and I almost rather wish I didn't have to be sitting here as a former Scientology expert. I'm glad I'm able to help and be a voice, and maybe it was meant for me to be involved in some way because I am so vocal and I'm not scared, and I'll speak out until I'm blue in the face. And it's just, I don't know, guys, it's just been hard on the flip side too. It goes good days and then there's bad days about it. It's just when I was reading the story on Tony's blog, I'm like, I'm gonna make a video about it. I don't know Barbara. I can't speak from that, but I can sympathize and understand. And I know from my personal time in Scientology how evil they are, and even just seeing them do different drills, like Sea Org members doing drills on how to lie to the public. And then I would think then, like, are they maybe just lying to me if they're so willing to drill training routines about lying? Isn't that just like mind blown? Like, wasn't even realizing that that's what was going on, that they're covering up so much different stuff in this organization. Now, the last point I'm going to make about Barbara is that, again, like I was mentioning earlier, there's a woman by the name of Valerie Hany, who we may remember was on Leah Remini's show. I believe she's also like a personal assistant or something of Leah Remini. I'm not really 100% sure. She left in 2016, and she said that she did not see Barbara in the hole in 2016. So she may not be in a prison, and she may just be shipped off to another org or another country. Who knows what country she may be in. I was thinking like, oh, could this have happened to Shelly? Like, could they have shipped her to like Australia or something like that? It's like, yes, maybe that's possible. But a lot of people believe that she's being held in CST headquarters in the mountains, in the desert, and she has to be kind of held in captivity there because she just knows too much about Scientology. Same with Barbara. She was an executive director of a big organization that encompasses Scientology. So it wouldn't be surprising to me if she actually was being held against her will in base. She's being held against her will in another country or another org. I mean, think about it, guys. Could you imagine going missing for 12 years? That's why I speak out about it, and I make a lot of videos about Shelly. Even if they're a little clickbaity, we need the public to know and click on it and see. I don't believe my videos are clickbait, actually, guys, but it's like the title of being like, Scientology executive has been missing for 12 years, hasn't been seen, whatever. Like, we need to drive public knowledge to hear about this. Like, I know a lot of people know, but more people on the internet, for example, who can click on a video and be like, oh my god, is someone's missing in Scientology, and can learn, guys. So I need to do that so I can drive people to my videos and see and hear these different stories so they can gain awareness, and then it can just start spreading like wildfire. So Scientology will have to produce them, have to make a statement, have to say something or account for their crimes. I know that just in general, like when I would say about Scientology, people don't even know what it is, but they're like, it's bad, it's a cult. And that's the goal, is for people to automatically associate Scientology with bad. It's almost like drugs, bad. Like, you want that quick of a, you know, we need to educate people so they know that Scientology is actually that bad and that evil. And, you know, it would be great if Scientology was accounting for these people, and if they cleaned up their act and weren't criminals. People want to believe in aliens, believe in aliens. You know, not that Scientology just believes in aliens, but you know what I mean, like, whatever. They can do whatever they want in Scientology, as long as they're not harming people, they're not scamming people, not taking tax-exempt dollars and building these huge buildings and war chests to attack people, and you guys know all the crimes of Scientology. I would just hope that people aren't being harmed and hurt. And I know that if I went missing, guys, or if I do go missing, and it seems kind of creepy to say, but if I go missing, I want you guys to make 100 videos. If I go and, you know, you see me on camera one day being like, Scientology is the greatest thing in the world, I want you guys to like make the biggest outcry in the world, because you know, you hear it from me first that that's not really me. Like, I got, you know, kidnapped from my home and was forced to do that. You know what I mean? Like, whatever. Like, that would definitely not be me. But yeah, if I went missing for 12 years, guys, like, Scientology wants to act like, especially with Shelly and other people, like, oh, like, they're just doing a private thing, you know, a mission for Scientology. They're not public figures. They don't want to be out in the media or anything like that. They're just living their life, and they're religious workers, and they don't want to be dealing with the limelight, or they don't want to talk to their fans or whatever. And it's like, and that's what they said. Watch one of my other Shelly videos. It was called like, Scientology told me about Shelly Miscavige. They actually wrote direct messages about this to my friend, and we have all the screenshots and everything in that video if you guys have any interest in hearing what Scientology said about where Shelly is from their own mouth. But it's like, really, Scientology, you want us to believe that these people are just fine and dandy, but you won't even show like a photo, not even like one picture of them? We're supposed to believe like they're just like perfectly okay when we know that they're being held against their will, most likely. And 12 years. If you guys haven't seen me in 12 years, if I go missing today and you don't see me, what's 12 years from 2019? 2031 or something like that, right? If you guys don't hear from me in all those years, don't you think, you know, you would really wonder, you'd call the police or something? But Scientology knows, and you would say like, why aren't all these other people asking, or family members or loved ones who aren't in Scientology, or who might be staff members but may not see the person, why don't they ask and report it to Scientology management, say, hey, where's my mom, where's my dad, where's my cousin? They haven't been seen in 12 years. I can't reach them. I've been writing letters. Scientology circumvents all mail to staff members, by the way, reads it first and then either passes it on or doesn't. So again, that's how held captive these people are, even as Sea Org members. You write a letter to Celebrity Center for me, if I was a Sea Org member, I might not ever see it, depending on what you wrote in that letter. I'm not going to have a cell phone, I'm not going to be making calls, I'm not going to be on the internet, I'm not going to be reading the newspaper, watching the news. You really are kept in a bubble. And when you do think about it, Scientology's justifications, the television, you know, it's in theta, you know, watching the news and hearing bad things, and the wavelengths, and it's unhealthy, you get radiation from the television, you know, whatever, they'll come up with all these crazy things. And then as a Scientologist who's brainwashed, you'll say, yeah, that makes perfect sense. But really, it's not just that it makes sense, it's really like, oh, when you put all the pieces together, why you can't read your mail, why you don't have a phone, the newspaper, whatever, you're kept in that bubble, so you never look or hear anything on the outside. You're just thinking everything is all fine and dandy, and L. Ron Hubbard is this, you know, you go to these events and they make L. Ron Hubbard seem like he was doing like the most for the world, more so than any other person, even though he's been dead for 30 years or however long, you know, it doesn't matter. They think that Scientology is like taking over the world, and that's what Sea Org members see, and that's why they feel like they're doing so much good, because they go to these events that they're forced to attend, and they're like, wow, you know, the way to happiness was handed out to 20 million children, and look at all the kids saved from drugs and illiteracy and just all these different things, and they think this is so amazing, and it just like brainwashes them even more. But if you're a family member and you say, where's Barbara? That person's then going to be in interrogations, in ethics. They're going to get in trouble. If they're not like a staff member or whatever, they're going to be paying hundreds of thousands of dollars for why they asked those questions. And look at Leah at Tom Cruise's wedding asking about Shelly. You don't have the effing rank to ask about Shelly. Okay, she doesn't have the effing rank, but she's a personal friend, so she can't ask where her friend is, who's missing, who's an executive, who's the wife of the church leader, and we're not supposed to wonder like where the hell she even is. Like, are we not thinking here? You know what I mean? So there's a lot of that, and you guys have to realize it's just mind control, and that's why even family members, whatever, they're not going to ask, they're not going to say anything. But hey, guess what? I have a camera, I have a YouTube channel, whatever, and I'm going to be talking about it, sharing this, and doing all that I can. So thank you guys. It's like it's stressful talking about these different things, but thank you for watching, guys. Make sure to go down below and click on that subscribe button, the bell icon. I'll try to post any additional updates that I can. I'm posting daily or every other day or several times a week videos, depending on how I feel. I'm going to be making videos for you guys here. Again, if you want to support my channel, I was telling you about Steven Mango. It's stevenmangotv. The link is down below. I have the video with Jeff doing a cooking tutorial. We're just going to be doing like all sorts like fun videos, like more lighthearted than what you're going to see here. I also have Mango Tea, which is beauty drama, beauty gossip, makeup, all that sort of stuff. So if you have interest in like the beauty industry world and want to know like the tea and the gossip, that's also linked down below. I have some other channels, guys. It means a lot to support me so I can be able to do videos besides just Scientology, so I can, you know, make this my career and like a life for myself and doing what I really love to do, which is making videos. And I want to also continue my Scientology activism. I have a lot of really exciting things coming to, I don't want to share anything yet, but to really bring down Scientology, or I think will at least help to, you know, spread my message and my word and what I feel is wrong in Scientology. So thank you guys for watching. Please leave a comment down below. Share this video far and wide. My social medias are also linked down below. Tag me, I'll retweet you guys. Share the video. Let's just make this viral. Free Barbara. Maybe we can get that trending on Twitter. I don't know. That would also free, yeah, I guess Free Barbara could be a good hashtag, unless you guys can think of something else that may have people wondering. Scientology executive missing could be a good hashtag. We'll find out something that we can maybe get trending. But anyways, guys, like I said, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye, guys.